We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, featuring Joe Granelli and Paul Smith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review wherever you stream your podcasts. Check us out on Instagram at tugayspod and email us at tugayspod@yahoo.com. We hope you enjoy.
Did you start yourself?
I did. I'm like a couple milliseconds ahead of you, though.
And this is what happens when Nick's not here.
And then it was really quiet, and I was like, what? What is going on?
None of us heard the little beeps and everything, like the little...
Well, it's kind of... Well, it's either full or it's 8:16. Sometimes it's quiet.
Yeah. So you just never know what you're going to get. And there's a box of chocolates.
I was like, there's a thing. I knew there was like a reference. What is that? What is that from?
Forrest
Gump. Thank you.
I'm Paul.
I'm Joe.
And we're These Unprecedented Gays.
And that was Cooper. He's like, what you talking about? You talking about me? Oh my God, he's...
So how was your week, Joe?
Uneventful, but I saw you guys, so that was good to see. I went on a long bike ride for the first time in a long time, and I think my body like rebelled, and then thankfully you saved me with Andy's pie.
I know he made mixed berry pie, and
it had.
I don't think you've ever had gooseberries.
No,
and
I haven't.
Delicious.
And those are the orange ones, right?
Yes.
I thought they were tomatoes for a hot second. They look a little tomato-esque. Yeah, because like you don't imagine. Are berries orange? I feel like berries to me are like
they're gold,
blue.
But because they were in the blueberries and everything, they got a little bit different colored.
So there's a berry called a cloudberry that looks like a blackberry, but it's yellow, same color yellow.
Oh,
it's funky. It looks like something's wrong with your eyes.
I feel like I don't. Maybe I'm just like weirded out by like dark berries.
But I wonder how that would work if you mix tomatoes in with berries as like in a pie
as like a joke.
No, because
tomatoes a fruit.
But you can do like a chocolate cake with beets.
Oh.
Yeah. With pickled beets.
Oh.
It's supposed to be good.
Oh. Well.
Beetroot.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't be trying that. Not at all. No. So I saw you guys, and then just been kind of like working and not doing anything crazy. What about you?
We decorated. So the studio...
I mean, we have to talk about the elephant outside of the room, which is your lit balls.
And can I just tell you, we were decorating over the weekend, and people were like, "I love your house. Where'd you get that ornament?" Blah blah blah. They're like,
you should have told them this. Not the Salvation Army. The
little
Daryl's. Is it Daryl's or Darrell's?
Yeah, it's Daryl's.
But it's spelled like Darrell, but pronounced Daryl.
But that used to be my middle name before I got married to Andy.
Daryl or Darrell?
With 2 R's, 2 L's.
So,
and I hated it because at the first thing, because the first
that's a lot of consonants.
Well, the first thing people would say would be like, "Oh, and your other brother Daryl."
Oh,
and I'm like, ugh.
Yes, and you're like, so you metamorphosized and rid yourself of that.
So now my middle name is Quinn.
Ooh,
yeah,
I like that better. It suits you.
So we decorated. Everything looks fun. We got all of our lights, and everything is completely done now. So we are ready to go. We have our wreaths up, with the real pine.
The greeting cards have all been sent. The Christmas rushes.
Yes, exactly. And we did our. We told you this before on other past Christmas episodes about our hack. Like when you get the real wreaths, you have to put them in ice water in your bathtub for overnight, so they can soak up and they'll stay fresh through.
They just wanted a bath.
Season. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My hack is buy a candle. Listen, who got time for wreaths? I mean, you do.
You know what we do have time for?
Mouth to mouth.
Mouth to mouth.
Resuscitation.
Yeah. So what are you obsessed with?
I have one obsession.
Okay.
And you're going to be like, what? So I don't know where or how, but randomly Spotify, I think it's the Upside Down playlist still. That's my go-to from when the Stranger Things did. Have you had yours?
No.
Okay, so they basically put out this playlist and it's the Upside. Did you guys finish the Stranger Things? Right?
No.
Okay. Well, there's like...
I'm like you. No, I did not watch that.
Wait, you guys don't watch Stranger Things?
I do, but like
Okay.
we haven't watched the new
Yeah,
season.
we watched the first 2 seasons.
Okay. Well, so anyway, in like, I don't want to spoil, but whatever, there's like a playlist that comes out and it's like all the songs that like would save you from like the evil guy. And so in that, like randomly was the Enrique Iglesias Be With You. And
Ooh,
it's
I love
been
that
like,
song.
okay, but it's like been on like repeat. And I'm like, I never really like gave this song a thought like ever. And I'm like, oh, I'm for this. So I'm really enjoying Enrique Iglesias's
Okay.
Be With You song.
Okay.
What is the, what
So I
is
have
it to you?
2. The first one is the finale of The Big Brunch. Like,
Okay.
which is on HBO Max. I already told you I'm obsessed with it on a previous week.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the finale was so good, and, I cried.
Oh, okay.
And during a food competition.
Okay.
Like, that's how good it was.
What
So-
made it good?
Like, it's just, these people aren't, like I said, it's kind of like a cross between, like, Chopped or Top Chef and the Great British Baking Show. So it's very, like, calm and relaxing, but these people are actually trying to do something to change their community and doing good through food. Mm-hmm. So it really made me cry and touch
And
me.
did they have brunch?
Yes. And the other thing I'm obsessed with is our guest this week.
Oh, wait, you can't do that.
I can't do that.
Okay. I don't feel like you're a guest anymore. You're like
I
a
know.
staple member.
He's like a friend of the program.
friends of the pod.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what, your third time? Oh, sorry, you can
Fourth, maybe.
I think it's the 4th time.
It's the fourth?
And we have Dr. Carlton in the house,
It's
in
the
the studio.
fourth?
Hello, hello. I think
it
it's
the
the fourth.
fourth?
Yeah.
I think it's the 4th because we had 2 times as a doctor and 1 time as a RuPaul Drag Race fan.
Right.
Oh, I was like, was I there for that?
Maybe not. I don't remember.
We had 1 time in person. This is a second.
This is a second time
Yes,
in
this is
person.
second time in the studio.
So now we're even.
Right.
So
No, next time you come on, you got to bring something totally new game. Bring your A game.
Yeah, there's got to be something new that hits that I'm,
We'll accept money.
So, for those of you who have listened to this show, you know who Dr. Carlton is. For those of you who don't, why don't you go ahead and remind them who you are, Dr. Carlton?
Well, I'm Dr. Carlton on Instagram and on TikTok. I am a queer health and butt stuff guy that gives a lot of information to our community about how to improve and protect our sexual health as well as improve our sex lives. And I kind of used my platform this summer because it was pre-built for it to help spread awareness about the monkeypox epidemic and how to protect yourself against it, how to find vaccinations, how to find treatment, and kind of report on the progress of what was happening. And things just kind of blew up from there this summer, and what was already kind of a big piece of my life just kind of exploded into taking over my life.
Wow. And, like, you've had a busy month.
Very
This
busy.
last month. Because, so let's start off and kick it off right away with, like, the first thing you had this past month was
Palm Springs
Palm Springs
Pride.
Pride.
Yeah.
Which I will tell you. Did I ever tell you the story? Like
No.
when Andy and I first got together. Okay, we're gonna get to your thing. But
Put a pin in that.
put a pin in that real quick.
It's not about you. It's fine.
Everybody's got a good story about Palm Springs Pride.
I don't have any good stories about Palm Springs.
But we were like, it was our first like year together, and we were like gonna go on our first trip.
It was the first month together.
Yeah, it was like the first month. Okay, yeah. So
It was your first date.
So we were trying to figure out where to go, and we're like, oh, let's go to Palm Springs. Well, it was like November, not knowing, and Andy's looking online, and he's like, all these hotels are so expensive. Come to find out, it was Palm Springs Pride, which is also like, I guess, Leather Pride too.
The Leather Pride was the weekend before, so people just stayed for the whole week.
Okay,
I mean, if you're there, right?
So we're like, we're not going to go to that for our first trip together.
Why not?
That was a bit much, so we ended up going to San Francisco.
Okay. I mean, that's also
That I think
good
it's
one.
funny. That was a funny story. I'm not sure if anybody else will, but anyway.
Oh yeah. The whole Leather Pride, Palm Springs Pride thing it reminds me of going into. I went to a party at the Barracks on Friday night. It was the Brute party that had been sold out for months, and I had to work my way in there, but I made some contacts behind closed doors and was able to get my way in there. And
That just sounds very dirty.
Through some connections, I'm very thankful for. Because it was an amazing event. It was really, really fun. But I went to talk to the guy who owned the leather shop back there in the Barracks, and he said,
oh, last weekend was leather pride because everybody was in leather for the brute party. They're like, this is just people in leather drag.
Leather drag.
I love it.
Yeah,
Should I do leather
It's like the
drag?
hardcore was last weekend. This is just drag this week.
That's my drag name.
Leather drag.
Because then it sounds like letter drag.
Oh,
You see?
and you would let okay.
Yeah,
I
see?
get it. There we
You get
go.
it?
Play on words.
So you got invited by the organization who put together Palm Springs Pride.
yeah. Well, I got invited by DAP Health, which used to be Desert AIDS Project, but they've rebranded because it's more than just about HIV now. It's about trans care. It's about PrEP. It's about STI testing and prevention and treatment. In addition to HIV care. So just kind of spreading their net a little wider, they changed the name to just DAP Health. So they had a big pavilion out that they were giving out vaccines. They were doing COVID, monkeypox. They were doing the flu vaccines. And then I gave a talk at lunch on Saturday for about Sexual Health 101. And it was well attended, and I was grateful. I mean, you're in the middle of Pride. Who really wants to go hear a doctor talk about
Especially
stuff?
I would do that.
Well, and it's also like on like a Saturday afternoon, so people are like at the pool or trying to like.
I also would do that. I will wherever you are next. I will go.
But that actually says something if people actually attended your talk, because like that should tell people like how important people find you, because it's like, they could be at a pool or they could be at a house party or something.
You could have your next speaking event at a pool.
Oh, there you go.
And the
Shake
people
it up a
there
little
are
bit.
going to be like, what is this? Yeah.
Well, it just was really an interesting phenomenon for me to walk down the street with my people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my crowd right there, Palm Springs Pride, and get noticed like every 10 feet. Oh, hey, can I take a picture with you? Or, oh, you're that guy from Instagram. Or, oh, I know you. Or, oh, you helped me learn to bottom. And my husband loves you because now I can give it to him.
Oh,
I love that you just said you helped me learn to bottom. Like he was the one who like stuck his hand in there. Because that was one of my questions. Was like, how do you handle? Because we talked about this before. Like, but it's getting even more so now, especially when you go to these gay events. Like, how do you handle being, recognized?
Celebrity.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, my goal is to be as friendly as possible, to smile, to say something nice about everybody, to take a picture with every single person, whatever they want. I'm living for it. This is my 15 minutes. I'm going to make the most of it. If people, if people like me and want to meet me and talk to me, I'm there for it. I'm 100%. But that being said, I get a lot of messages from people. Oh, I saw you walking down the street in those blue scrubs, and I almost went up to you and said something, but I was just too shy. And I'm like,
aww.
You know what? I fangirl like that sometimes too. Like I saw a couple of people at Pride and at a recent event in New York, and I just fangirled out and was like too shy to go up and talk to them. So I understand it. It's just not everybody's comfortable, but people would like run out of restaurants. Hey, you're that guy from Instagram, aren't you? Yeah, that's me. Okay, I just was checking.
I don't want to picture.
Well, I was like,
anything.
don't you
I
want
just want
to
to make sure that was you?
Don't you want
we
to
had
picture?
a bet going, me and my friends.
Right.
After you exploded.
It was really funny though. And I really
what he
liked
said.
it. I really liked it. It was. I was there for the first night by myself. My husband had pilot school on the Saturday morning, so I got to go to the brute party.
I know I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, I went to the brute party on the Friday night by myself, which was quite a little treat, to have a little
by
myself time, especially in a situation like it is now, where there's so many people coming up to me.
Right, and you got to behave yourself.
Yeah, I had to behave myself. But like on Saturday night, we went back to the barracks for a different party, and he was like, "You said last night was really, really fun, and that tonight was pretty much like the party last night, but you don't seem to be having as much fun tonight as it sounds like you had last night."
Oh no!
I wonder what's different.
It was the crowd. Naturally, the people weren't the same.
They just seem to be more tired.
He was
tonight,
like,
sweetie.
"Listen, it's okay. I realize that sometimes you need a night out by yourself. It's okay. It's really okay. And you enjoy this stuff, and I'm not as much into it. So go for it. Have
Yeah,
fun.
he's
Do your
busy
thing."
in pilot school. Okay.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna have to circle back to that a little bit later about your husband.
We'll have to land back at the. We'll land on it.
So Palm Springs Pride was a lot of fun. I was going to stay an extra day, but I just was wiped out from going out so much at night. I managed to come back without COVID or flu
Good
or
for
anything
you.
else. Unlike last time I was there, I got COVID. But that was way back in May. So, I would run into people in bars and they were like, "Oh, you remember me from last time here?" And I'm like, yeah.
Are you the one that gave me COVID?
Yes, I remember you. Just always say yes.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was my crowd. It was really fun to see so many people out there. I kind of got gypped. I got tricked. I thought that Trixie Motel had a Trixie drag queen, and I thought it was Trixie Mattel because she was in Trixie Mattel makeup, and it was in front of the Trixie Motel booth, and it was just an impersonator of Trixie, and they were charging money.
Okay.
Wait, there's in person.
I was just going to say
They were
there's an
charging
impersonator
$10
of
a photo.
Wait, hold on. We need to. So there's Trixie Mattel, the drag queen, and then there was an impersonator of Trixie Mattel, the drag queen.
Yeah, because she's got that new Trixie Motel in Palm
Right.
Springs. So rather than her being there for the weekend, she had an impersonator there for her, and the impersonator was charging $10 a picture.
Oh, shade. No.
But did she look good?
She looked
Did she
better
look
than
like
Trixie Mattel.
I mean, it's not hard.
But, so
Right.
Did you go to the Trixie Motel, though?
No, I went to the little booth though, and at first I thought it was Trixie, and so I was fangirling a little bit, and then I realized, shit, that doesn't sound like Trixie Mattel. When
Yeah.
Wasn't
she
it enough
speaks.
like a duck honker? I mean,
So I got a little bit tricked by that, and I thought that was kind of like lame because they didn't even say that this is a Trixie impersonator. They just said,
That's crazy.
that's just so weird.
And then they
Should
charge
I become a
$10.
drag queen impersonator? Like, oh, I'm Bianca Del Rio impersonator. Like, what?
and it charged $10 a picture.
I mean,
Just yell out, baloney!
yeah.
Not today, Satan.
Exactly. But, did you guys drive out there? Because Palm Springs is pretty close.
Yeah,
so-
it's pretty close. So we
okay.
drove. And
No, they took their plane.
I know. I was gonna say, his husband flew them out.
Yeah. On your chopper.
so we did our thing. We came back a little early on Sunday rather than staying like we had planned to stay an extra day just because we were wiped out. And I came back to work for a little bit, and then I had to get ready for the Out 100 in New York City.
Mm-hmm. I know. So our listeners know, Out 100 puts out a list every year, the most influential gay, lesbian, queer, trans people out there that
Everybody in
are
the
doing
community.
stuff to change the world and that you should know about if you don't already. And actually, we've had two people on our podcast who are on this year's Out 100 list. First one was Fiona Dawson, who who's an author who we had on here, and Dr. Carlton was on there.
And it's not the Out Hot 100 because I thought but you guys are. So like, you know how they have like the Billboard Hot 100
Yeah.
or whatever? Like, because when I saw that, I was like, oh, some of these people aren't attractive. But then I was like, oh, it's like,
It's the Out 100.
yeah. But then I was like, they're attractive in what they're doing.
And they're not like, and it's not like the Billboard 100 where they're ranked. Like, it's just, just 100 people.
Oh, they aren't? Oh.
No, we weren't ranked.
no.
Because I was
Although
going to
there
say, you were low on the like list. I was like, what?
Well, there were four cover model people: the old gays, Haley Kiyoko. Let's see, the guys from 911 Lone Star,
Oh, yeah, there were a lot of those guys on there. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that show had so many...
queer people. Yeah,
I've never seen the show.
And a trans person too. That's like the sexiest man alive, or one of the sexiest men alive.
okay.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And then there was a Jared Carmichael or something like that.
Oh, the comedian.
He was a comedian.
He's
yeah.
actually really good.
He was
I
on
like
there
him.
too. Yeah, and so they had no rankings. They just kind of had it split into different sections. So I was in the educator section, and they had like disruptors, educators, pop stars, movie star, TV and movie, drag queens. They had Jinx Monsoon. They had, which I was like, Jinx is my hero. I mean, I love Jinx Monsoon.
He has like Jinx and Willow Pill.
And Kimchi.
Yeah.
Kimchi? For
Did you get to meet all of them?
They weren't. A lot of the people who tour were not there because they were on tour.
figured.
Yeah,
That was what
so-
I was going to say is like, who did you see?
So we
Yeah.
me and Dr. Carlton were like DMing back and forth, like what he should wear.
Oh my God. Did you wear your leather drag?
No, I wanted to go a little bit more classic. I got a black slim fit Hugo Boss.
I did
tailored
tell
suit.
him to wear a harness. Did I not?
You told me to. You definitely did.
Did
and
you,
I could have
did
gotten
you
away
embellish
with it.
with anything sparkly?
Yeah, well, I had crystal encrusted Prada shoes.
Oh, okay.
It looked like I was Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz walking around.
My
They
God.
were gorgeous.
And then I had a crystal encrusted bow tie and then a pocket protector thing that was the pocket sleeve that had crystal encrusted stuff on it. And it was kind of embarrassing. After the show, we went to Junior's, the bakery on Broadway.
Oh yeah.
And I walked to Junior's, and the whole place just dropped their forks, and was like, "Oh my God, who is this guy? This guy is somebody important. Look at those shoes. Oh my God."
They probably knew you from Instagram.
No,
They were probably listen, I need a bottom.
this older veteran came over to my table after I sat down, and he just comes right up to me and says, "I'm sorry if this is rude." And I thought, "Oh God, he's going to tell me how obnoxious my shoes are and how I should be embarrassed that I'm wearing such obnoxious shoes." And he's like, "Those are the most beautiful shoes I've ever seen. I just have to know what brand those are and where you got them." And I'm like, "Don't ask how much they cost because this is embarrassing."
So that's hilarious.
So fun, completely unrelated fact. Junior's is the largest consumer of cream cheese.
Second to me.
Their cheesecake is.
That's what I got there. So we walked in, and it was at Nebula, New York City, in a club in Times Square. And they basically just had champagne as soon as you walk in the door. They pinned us with all the Out 100 people with flowers so you could identify each other and anybody else. And they had a lot of other local celebrities that were gay that were there just for support. So I walked in. I got interviewed by the Advocate channel. That's the new channel from Out. And then I walked in the door and, got my glass of champagne, and almost within 5 minutes, Austin Wolf called me over for a private conversation.
Do y'all know who Austin Wolf is? He's a porn star, and he loves to, fuck like young little guys. Like,
well, he's like 6'5", so anybody looks small next to him.
Well, but he always tries to go with
But he picks the 5'6" ones.
Yeah, or like the 5 foot spinners that he just put on there and be like, woo!
but Austin really appreciated a lot of the stuff I did this summer with monkeypox, and he told me that he personally stopped filming this summer as soon as I started putting all those notices out about what was happening and what we should do to protect ourselves. And he goes, "I didn't get monkeypox," and he goes, "I was in P-Town and in New York Pride, and I avoided monkeypox all because I listened to you." And I'm like, wow.
But
how'd you dodge that bullet?
How does that make you feel like when you obviously knew who Austin Wolf was from his videos and stuff? Come on, let's just be real.
Oh yeah,
what videos? Are you watching his No. You are supporting the arts.
It's R&D.
There's nothing wrong with sex work.
R&D.
Research and duck.
Yes.
Yeah.
But how does that make you feel like somebody you from, whether it be fantasizing or watching or something?
It was weird.
Said you touched his life because he actually listened to what you had to say.
No, it was crazy. He did it in person, and there's another porn star from Iran who's in California now, the Chirac. He reposted a lot of my videos warning that it was a sexually transmitted infection mostly, and so he was really thankful too. And I was like, never expected that kind of stuff. And when I was here last time, I couldn't talk about it, but I was helping a queen, a famous queen from RuPaul's Drag Race, behind the scenes, get through monkeypox, who had an active infection when we were here last time. I just couldn't talk about it.
Can you talk about it now?
Well, I can't say about who it was, but I can say that they were sending me pictures of their bed soaked in sweat from all the night sweats. And
Oh my
like
gosh!
And so that kind of all blew me away, because this is the stuff that I love RuPaul's Drag Race. Who doesn't really adore and admire people like Austin Wolf? I mean, he's a porn star, but he does great stuff, and it's who doesn't love porn? I mean, we're all men. It was like, and Natasha Lyonne texted me, "Hey, what you're doing is really cool. Thank you."
What the?
I know.
Natasha Lyonne?
She follows me on Instagram.
Wait, isn't it Leone?
Oh my god!
I don't know if you pronounce the E on at the end or not, but yeah, she's Russian Doll and Orange is the New Black.
She's very, very talented.
I love her.
Yeah,
She's amazing.
My Instagram has gotten really interesting. I was on a train to Santa Barbara, and the lead singer of Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Holly Johnson, messaged me and said, "Hey, I really love what you do. It's so good to meet you." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're Frankie Goes to Hollywood." You know, first of all, I didn't even realize he was still. Yeah, first of all, I didn't even realize he was still alive. No, because I knew he had really end stage AIDS in the 90s, early 90s. He said he had 21 T cells in like 1991, and he just held on with the claws of his fingers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Until 1996, until he get the cocktail, and then he started taking that, and he turned around. But yeah, the exposure to people that I have always looked up to and admired is shocking. It's surreal, you know.
It's also interesting in this day and age because it makes it that much easier for people to get a hold of you.
Oh yeah,
and to say stuff to you, you know, and that's the most interesting thing because like. If it wasn't for Instagram, how else would Latasha Leone be able to say anything to you? And that is so cool. I think that is like the best.
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah, that stuff is really cool. Yeah, and in the party at the Out 100,
you met Bowen Yang.
That's what I was gonna say. Who was your favorite person that you met at the party?
Well, you know, obviously I've always wanted to meet Austin because especially I've been talking to him a lot since the summer. And then Cody Rigsby from Peloton. I'm a Peloton guy, so I love Cody Rigsby. He's just so funny.
Okay, I did read a recent article in BuzzFeed about like why does Cody Rigsby hate Taylor Swift so much?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. He is so distracting with all the gay stuff that he does on Peloton that you forget you're working out. So I just, you know, I call him my Peloton boyfriend. So I was excited, but he was one I almost didn't get a picture with because I was so nervous to go up to him and talk to him.
Oh my God.
And then Bowen Yang was super sweet.
Yeah.
People were like hounding him all night though. It took some patience to be able to get a picture with him, but super duper nice. The Boulet brothers were there.
I saw that.
And I got pictures with them.
They do Dragula, right?
Dragula, yeah, Titans of Drag.
But it was very interesting to see that picture of them because it was like, it was almost like they had to pose a certain way.
They're almost like blobs of plastic. You know, like are these real people over here?
Yeah, because you see Dr. Carlton with his champagne glass
like,
on
hi!
one side, and then you see the two of them, and they're doing their like the way they always pose, whether in pictures or on their.
I mean, they were nice enough to pose, and to take a picture, so I can't complain. The other people that really blew me away about how nice they were the old gays from Palm Springs.
Yes,
they were so nice, and they were so warm and so welcoming, and they really. Took a lot of time and were flirty and it was cute, you know, it was really nice. And Amy Schneider from Jeopardy. I don't know if you're a Jeopardy fan, but the Tournament of Champions.
Was she on the list?
She was
on the list.
And she had not won the Tournament of Champions yet, but we knew she would because she's so smart. And so I got a picture of her and my husband, that was awesome. And yeah, so just lots of cool people. Brian Sims from Pennsylvania.
I saw that, and like I will tell you, I have a crush on that daddy. So
what is he from?
Brian Sims, the
Philadelphia
representative from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he's gay, and he's a congressman that represents the Philadelphia area.
Okay,
but he was super duper nice too. He's like, here, let me give you my phone number. This is the number that my mother calls me on, so I will answer it if you ever text me or you need to talk to me. Here's my number, and I'm like, oh wow,
God.
okay.
So if we need to make when he's dealing with, oh no, Dr. Oz didn't make it. Never mind.
Oh yeah.
If we need to kick him out,
God.
Yes, but super nice guy, and Nancy Pelosi's right hand man was there too. Kenneth Russell DeGraff, I think is what his name is.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was there too, and he was super nice. Everybody was just in a really happy, friendly mood, and the champagne certainly helped that.
Were you the best dressed there?
Actually, I got one of the coolest things about what people were wearing. One of the women there who wrote Gumbo Yaya, Ariel, I forget her last name, Ariel something, who wrote Gumbo Yaya, is a big black woman. She's a big girl. And so she made an appeal to Lizzo on TikTok saying that she needed a 911 Lizzo emergency help, that she needed a dress that she would look good in.
Oh, I saw this.
She wore the purple
voluminous,
like multi-tool dress.
Yeah, the layered tulle dress
that Lizzo wore?
That Lizzo wore in the
love
award
that.
show. Yeah, and so that was super cool.
because it's hard for larger women to find clothes
elegant
to wear
gowns.
for those kind of things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, good for her.
Yeah, so we flew the red eye on Tuesday night to get there Wednesday morning, fall asleep in the hotel, get up, get dressed, go to the thing, go to Junior's, have dinner, go to bed, get up, go to the airport the next morning and fly home. And I was in clinic in the afternoon.
Oh my God.
And
I filmed,
so you were just there for that one day.
Yeah, and I filmed a segment with Dan Savage that Thursday afternoon at home.
Oh my God.
So, things just really, it was right back to the grindstone.
Holy moly.
Yeah. And so, this past weekend, after I got kind of settled from that, I went to Los Angeles for the Cleveland Leather Association weekend, LA.
I'm glad you told me the acronym. I was like,
Yeah.
was this Canadians lobbying against Wiener Schnitzel? I was like, what is this?
So the last couple of years, they've had a West Coast version of the Cleveland convention, and it's basically a kink convention where people come for kink and sex ed classes. They come for demonstrations, to gather and meet and play, and some dance parties, some play parties, just all different walks of life, people from all different walks of life, all different areas of kink. And it is in the Bonaventure Hotel in LA.
I was just going to say.
Massive hotel.
Where's that?
Downtown LA.
The Westin Bonaventure Hotel has been seen in numerous movies.
Okay.
Because it's such an interesting...
Yeah.
The way that it's designed is such an interesting building that it's been used in numerous... I forget which one, but we stayed there when we went to LA to go see... Everybody's talking about Jamie because it was right near the arts area. But did they do everything in the hotel?
Yeah, so it was wild.
The housekeeping was probably mad.
Well, so you could rent. So they had the downstairs
They were joining in.
conference rooms all booked, so that we had our classes in the conference rooms. They had a huge hall that was like an 8,000 square foot dark room. That they had slings and
I was like, are they for not for
benches,
developing pictures?
But did the catering staff have to put down all the plastic and build this? Could you imagine?
No, the claw people did all that.
Okay,
but we weren't, because it's such a massive hotel. We weren't the only people there, so there were families.
I know. I was like,
can you imagine if it was like a nun convention as well?
Well, what was really funny was we got on the elevator. I got on the elevator on Saturday night going up. And there were two guys in diapers, which I don't understand. But hey, I'm not shaming kink shaming. I just don't. It's not my thing. And then two guys in really hardcore leather, and then me, who was kind of just leathery, but not hardcore.
He was wearing you were wearing your leather drag and your leather diaper, so you were a combination of everything.
And then this straight couple who were about 65.
Oh my God,
were in the elevator with us, and one of the guys in diapers looked over at the woman in the middle of it and said, you must be going to the same party we are.
Oh.
And the husband didn't miss a beat. He goes, yeah, we're just looking for a phone booth, and then we're going to change and go with you guys.
I would have been like, what diaper are you wearing, girl?
You got Huggies?
And then it'd be like, depends. I have a story about diapers because
you do
at Sheraton here in San Diego, we got booked by a kink convention that basically is
for babies, right?
Or adult babies.
Yeah.
So it was they had to block off the convention area so that the meeting rooms and stuff because so that people wouldn't just walk over there. But you could smell the baby powder and the piss. And I'm just like, okay, you all better have some
did you have air fresheners
industrial plastic down.
Yeah, so they had the ABDU area.
Adult baby
diaper universe.
Something, whatever you call it, over in one section. And it was kind of hard to find, actually. And I never really saw what was actually happening in there because I just accidentally walked by the area. They had a huge pup area. Pups were a big part of this now. I guess when it comes to kink, a lot of the kink community is kind of getting older. The only thing that's really drawing people in is mostly this pup play phenomenon, because it's mostly people 25 to 40.
Did they have like little pup play areas?
They did. They had like artificial grass, and they had toys, and they had big beds that the guys could roll around in and chew toys, and they had all kinds of stuff like that. They had a vendor mart that sold all the different leather stuff, the pup stuff, the diaper stuff, anything you wanted.
Pup play?
So pup play is
for the listeners.
Yeah. So I actually sat down with two of the big pup people there because I don't really understand it, and I kind of wanted to wrap my head around it.
Okay.
And they actually say that they get sort of shamed and kind of like pushed aside with a lot of the stuff because they aren't really accepted as much in the leather community. But they say that it's these guys who wear masks that make them look like puppies or like leather.
Okay. Yep.
And they don't talk. They only use, barking or woof, 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 or, little hand signals or the tongue signals or whatever. And sometimes they even have a tail. And I asked, well, why do you do that? What do you get out of that? Is there anything sexual you get out of it? And they said, well, it's more about not having any responsibility, being a cute puppy, being playful, being cute, being loved.
I mean, I get where, like, it shouldn't be shamed. They shouldn't be ostracized and stuff like that. But it is a newer part of the kink community that's becoming more...
The fastest growing.
Yeah, it's the fastest growing part of it. But for people who are OG leather...
Yeah.
It doesn't fit into what their idea of what the leather scene should be.
Time to change it up.
Right. And then they had like spanking parties, which I had to go walk by and see what that was all about.
With like a paddle.
Did you not go in?
No, I went in. I went in there to watch people get spanked.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Basically, yeah. There's all these guys over people's laps with big red butts, getting paddled just incessantly, and I was like, wow, okay.
I want to see somebody break a paddle
on like a rock hard booty.
You have a whole different kink.
I'd watch that. Let's find a place.
There was a fisting class that was a live demo.
That's what I was going to say. What was like you said demonstrations. Like what was demonstrated?
Well, fisting was demonstrated. So there's this porn star on Twitter who is so incredibly hot and so incredibly handsome and has just the most perfect butt I've ever seen. And he got up on the because I went to the class. This is my bag as far as colorectal stuff, so I wanted to make sure I learned all about this stuff because I need to know about this stuff. And he got up on the table and like presented himself, and it was like a big Thanksgiving turkey up there. I was like, oh my god!
Just a big hole, like there's this hole right there for everyone to see.
So his sir got up there and showed everybody how he warms him up, and
Did he use the clock method?
Kind of. That's funny. They talked about how that stuff is the basis for what warms people up to get to that. And then he ended up fisting the guy for a while, and then he said, any volunteers from the audience want to go up and do it? And 25 guys got up.
Like fisting him?
It ended up being like a fist fuck gangbang.
They fisted him.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do it.
I mean, by the time it's over, could you just put both hands in and clap?
Well, by that point, it's like what's the game when you were a kid to take the bones out of the person?
Oh, Operation. And
you're like trying to get in the middle of it. It's so wide. It's like you just put your hand in, or like it's like a metal detector, and you like go through.
But at the very end, after the 25th fist had gone in, there was one guy who really said the fisting bottom was like, oh my god, this is like the most intense experience ever. You need to come back at the end. And so the master at the end said, okay, I'm gonna let him come now. So could you come back up here and fist him to this guy? And then one of my friends got to go up and jerk him off while he was getting fisted. And this guy, when he came, was like speaking in tongues. He was going, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, that translates to I am so orgasmic right now.
Right, yeah. It was incredible. It was like something to witness. It was insane. And later on in the convention, I kind of went up to him and said, hey, I really appreciate being able to watch what happened.
When he had a diaper on?
Not yet.
His leather diaper.
I was like, I really appreciate what happened. Is that reaction very common? He goes, well, that's really what I do when I come, but today was particularly intense because.
Interesting.
Can you imagine if you were like having sex with him and that happened? You're like, well, what language is that?
So, like, what did they use? Like, did they use?
They used J-Lube. which is a kind of, it's like almost like ectoplasm.
Oh.
It's like a really thick.
So Slimer was
Is it like, is it like Vaseline almost?
No, it's like ropey. It's like water based, kind of like but mixed with silicone, kind of like, but it kind of wraps around. You can wrap it around your hand. It's kind of like slime, like almost like ectoplasm, kind of. And that's
Did you
what
watch
they use.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Like when Slimer hits you.
It's kind of like slime.
House? Interesting. And that's, I'm guessing, not used during normal sex?
Not
normal sex, but during like...
Not during
like,
vanilla sex, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, he was taking like a smart water bottle that had a tip on the end of it that was full of the stuff and shoving it up the guy's ass and squirting it up in there to get it up deeper. So that they could get more lube up.
He didn't have a prolapse butthole, did he?
He presented a little bit of rosebudding at the end, but not like massive amounts, but just a little bit.
Good
But
thing
anyway,
there was a gastroenterologist in the room.
yeah.
If you're a fisting bottom, you have no followers.
If you would have seen it, would have been like, should we talk? I know a guy, it's me.
Well, it was just a really interesting experience to be around all those different kinds of kink and all the different people, and to make me realize like what I'm not into.
So
and
what are you
honestly,
not into?
And honestly, it was
Yeah.
most of it. I really wasn't into a lot of it. I just was like, nothing like turned me on. Maybe the Dom stuff kind of was like a little bit of a turn on. But the rest of it, I just was I found myself analyzing, okay, what's wrong with these people for them to want to be into this kink?
Because it's automatically you just like judge because you don't understand it.
Well, I had a guy who's into ball busting who had taught there 15 years, and
What
he
is
said
that?
where you actually get kneed in the balls or punched in the balls. So this guy said he taught that for 15 years, and this was the first year he wasn't teaching it. And he goes, you know what? You know the reason why I always did that? I'm like, why? He goes, because I just wanted to be punched in the balls.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow, okay, there's some psychology going on here.
See, I just want to take somebody's balls and go.
And like the people who are like
With
really
my
into
finger.
spanking, I kind of wonder, do they have childhood trauma issues?
Oh my God, you're there just like psychoanalyzing everybody. You're like Barbara Watson. So tell me about your childhood.
Well, but there are people who like to have their junk stepped on too.
Oh my God.
Like that's
But
that's
I don't.
a kink.
I like that would be painful for me, and I don't know how I could be aroused by pain.
But see, some people are like that,
Yeah.
and the more
I went to an impact play class where they taught that, impact is where you get hit with something, either a fist or slapped or caned or flogged or whatever. And a lot of people say there's this catharsis that happens of all this built up emotional energy, and you just like
On
let
the
it all
people getting
out.
hit?
Yeah, on the people that are getting hit. Yeah.
The pain pleasure principle is like they're very close neurologically.
Yeah, and a lot of people just describe this weird catharsis that happens to them when they get hit like that. And like I say, I don't necessarily understand it, but I try to understand it and see what.
and that's a good thing. Like
Yeah.
that, even if you don't I don't understand some kinks, and I'm like, okay, but that's you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know some of the stuff I said maybe sounds a little judgy, but I really wasn't judging people. I was just trying to analyze why it happens.
No,
and try to figure out what's going on.
And I think
Well,
that's
you're a
something
medical
we always
professional.
do.
That's part of what you do.
But also, what's the pleasure in it?
Yeah.
How do you derive pleasure from that? Not to say that it's wrong, but obviously it doesn't align with
Right.
what I get pleasure from. But
Yeah.
I find that fascinating. We saw in Fresno at the Halloween party.
Oh yeah, because we saw some people who were pupping play, and I'm just like, okay, that just because see to me that doesn't I don't find that as kinky as say somebody on an X because when I was living in Pittsburgh, I went to a bar and in the basement they had basically a dark room, and somebody was on an X bar, and he was getting fisted, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna get another vodka cranberry upstairs. But then 20 minutes later, an ambulance was called because the guy had passed out,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get him to wake up again.
Oh my God.
So they were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy when you're like, we need somebody to come. We need an ambulance to this bar.
Yeah,
'Cause
don't worry about the setup.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was a really interesting convention. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, about what I'm really not into. I kind of expected it to be more of a camaraderie thing where I'd like make some friends or something, but I didn't really meet a whole lot of new people. I mean, there were a lot of fans there who came up to me and said hi, and my class was packed full of people.
What was your class?
I did butt stuff for my first class, and it was 9:30 in the morning on Friday morning, the very first class, and I thought nobody's going to show up to this.
And it was the opener.
Yeah, but it was packed.
They all showed up with their iced coffee.
Yeah, and it was really good, and I did it with a mix of my Instagram and TikTok posts, and then plus was talking, and I had a friend of mine who's from Denver who helps me moderate my talks.
So you have your like setup now for like when you go to these things, and you have your presentations. You have like your graphics all done and ready and everything.
Yeah.
Your PowerPoint transition.
Yeah, I have my videos set up. I have banners now made that one of my fans got made for me that I hang up.
Do you get like a little booth too? So
you know what,
come and visit
I
you?
should have. I have an online booth where you can go and buy stuff, but I should have had physical stuff to sell there, or at least to give out.
Yeah, merch. Yeah,
I should have had merch there.
T-shirt gun.
Yeah.
And you could have shot it up the guy's ass.
Ah, there you go.
Never see that T-shirt again.
Like a wiener down a hallway.
It goes in a T-shirt, comes out a tank top.
Yeah, I got a little bit tired of it on Saturday, and so instead of staying for the Saturday night party that they did, there was a DILF black party at Los Globos in Silver Lake.
Okay.
And Joe Whitaker's a local guy. I thought I would go support his night, and it was phenomenal.
Oh, good.
Because their parties go till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my God.
It was incredible.
In Silver Lake?
Yeah. It was amazing.
There used to be a bar, maybe it was called MJ's in Silver Lake. I think they closed, but yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to kind of get away from the main crowd and just kind of be a little bit separate for a while.
And are you finding now that you've got a lot of attention and stuff, and do you feel like you still say yes to as much as you possibly can?
Yeah, I do. I'm realizing that I kind of should probably, now that I've built up to where I wanted to be without monetizing things, I probably should still do a better job monetizing because it's taken a lot of my time.
Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, those T-shirts were fantastic.
Also,
I have
collect
one
that
of the T-shirts.
check, girl.
I have one of the T-shirts like that say "I'm just here for the butt stuff."
Yeah.
And
I appreciate
love that.
Yeah, so I need to do a little bit better job monetizing things. I am still looking to make that connection to get a show someday. I don't know what form that'll be in. I was supposed to work with Rocco Steele on a show, but it kind of got shelved into a different kind of project instead of a show, and we're still kind of trying to figure out what's going to happen with that. And I've been approached to maybe do my own thing, like a podcast or something, but I just don't have time to do all the editing, and so it would have to be somebody would have to be.
We know a really good editor.
It's Andy.
It's really an open. I'm really open for any possibilities in the coming year, but it's exciting. I think that I've taken a break from posting for a while because I was so monkeypox or mpox now focused that there's not really a whole lot to talk about it anymore. Cases are down over 90%, and even though San Diego had 0 cases 2 weeks ago, 1 case last week, and 3 cases this week.
Oh, wow.
So there's still people who are getting it out there. People still need to be vaccinated. You know, if you haven't gotten those 2 shots, make sure you get them.
Is it really necessary to get both shots?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay.
For long-term health, yeah. The first one is good for the shot. Yeah. So get your second shot. They're available.
But if you've had monkeypox, they say natural immunity.
You don't need to get it because natural immunity is I mean, it can't hurt you to get vaccinated, but a lot of people are getting vaccinated despite having had it.
Okay. So I know you've been like going around, people recognizing you and stuff, but I'm sure you're getting like, a lot of sexy offers, right? Like, because I saw your Ask Me Anything on Instagram, and a lot of people were like, "What size shoe do you wear?"
You could listen, if you want to monetize, sell your clothes,
sell your feet,
sell your underwear. Listen, no, you got a following now, and you can easily monetize on them.
Yeah. So, well.
We can take we'll take a portion.
I only answered the shoe size, saying you should have seen the other stuff. It's like they get really deep and personal.
Like what?
Well, I mean, they ask things like, "Do you and your partner have an open relationship? You know, are you a top, bottom, reverse? You know, all kinds of stuff. You know, that my husband said if I ever talked about publicly, I would be strangled. So,
but I mean, that's a good thing. So you guys have like a list of a go and no go sort of thing.
Yeah,
right?
And he's like, okay, now people can send you all the stuff that they want to online, you know, but you're not going to be sending back naked pictures to people because
I'm sure
you never know where those will end up.
But like,
you have not only a following but a presence.
Yeah,
and like any misstep could be your end.
Could end.
Yeah,
and especially with because you have kids.
I have kids too. Yeah, I don't want that to end up out.
But like, so do people send you just like a dick pic, or are they sending you pictures like, hey, can you tell me what's wrong with this?
Both have happened.
Okay.
During monkeypox, it was actually really scarring. It was a lot of dick pics with like massive craters in them, and asshole pics with like.
Could you imagine? Like, that's just going to ruin you.
No, honestly, I was like not sexually interested at all until about like a couple of weeks ago because I was just so PTSD scarred from all the stuff that I had seen.
Did you send them a bill after they sent you a message?
No. I did all this for free because people were desperate and they needed somebody to help them. So it's definitely been an experience. It's really odd that it took something like a viral disease to kind of amplify my platform and to kind of get me in this Out 100 thing. Because that's not what I ever, never guessed that would happen. I never pictured it. And it certainly wasn't a planned thing. It's just something I fell into because nobody else was talking about it.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
You found your niche.
Yeah.
Well,
niche.
And when the last time you were here, that was kind of at the beginning of all of that, but you were like a lone resource. You were the person really.
Yeah. I mean, I was waking up
messaging the community.
I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to help people in Europe that were desperate for help, and then going to work at 7, and then coming home at 4, and then helping people till 5:30, and then doing podcasts or lives.
Yeah,
I heard you on. I think it was Science Versus.
Science Versus. Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, I did a lot of them, and then coming back home at night and spending the rest of the evening on my phone trying to help people. I would answer like 150 messages a day from people who had monkeypox and didn't know what to do or were looking for resources. But after a while, there was a network that developed. There was a guy in New York who had monkeypox who was trying to give people emotional support. So he had a support group that he formed. So I would find out the person who was positive, plug them into the support group. They would say, I'm from Miami and I don't have insurance and I don't know where to go to get treatment or TPOXX or anything. And a guy in the support group would say, I'm from Miami, go to this doctor on this street at this time and say this and you'll get what you need.
Wow.
And so it became this really amazing network of people that were helping each other behind the scenes because nobody else would. Yeah. So it's amazing what our community
I was just going to say,
do. It's incredible.
In times of crisis.
Yeah. And people built websites like the guy in Chicago who built the entire website for the city of Chicago for testing, treatment, vaccinations. The guy who built the whole nationwide Google Doc that BHOC Health Partners made into a website where you can go and find all your vaccination stuff and treatment stuff. And then the CDC picked that up and put it on their page. And, so it's just incredible what our community did for each other. And that's why things are the way they are now, down, over 90% and looking better every day. But like I said, I'm still seeing a smattering of a few cases here, a few cases there. So it's not completely over with. I'd really like for people to get that second shot if you can, just so that you can finally just put this completely behind us.
And take a moment before you put it in your mouth.
Yeah, look at it. Yeah, look at
if anything looks out of whack, okay, we're just gonna pause on this real quick.
Get your light feature on your.
Use the flashlight.
Use the torch and get your opera glasses.
I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Well, that's one of the problems as well. Is I remember a friend of mine who was in P-Town hooked up with a guy this summer at Bear Week. And it was in the dark. The guy fucked him and came in him and then pulled out and then went to the bathroom to wash his dick off. And my friend followed him in there and he looked down at the guy's dick and there were welts all over his dick. And he goes, and he said he just slid up against the floor and up against the door and all the way down to the floor.
Who did?
His friend.
The bottom. Yeah, because he knew what had just happened.
Fuck. Did he get monkeypox?
Yep.
Okay.
Jeez. See, that's like,
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where take a minute. Yeah. I know it's not as sexy, it's not as cool, it's not as
but you know what? Complacency is what's gonna put you in danger.
Well, and don't assume that the other person is looking out for you.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You got to advocate for your own self.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
I mean, most people wouldn't fuck another person if they had blisters or sores on themselves, but some people would.
Some people are just selfish like that.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna go circle back for a second because I want to talk about. So your husband is a pilot now?
Well, he is interested now that our kids are seniors in high school, and he's done all the stay-at-home dad stuff. He's interested in finding a career for him, and he's always been interested in flying. And I've been very supportive and said, "Hey, listen, this is your time. You deserve this. So if this is what you want to do, go for it." So right now he's just taking classes. He's applied for a few different programs. Some of them are out of state, but are only like a year. But I'm like, hey, listen, if this is a fast track to get you what you want to do, pilots make damn good money.
Yep.
So
there's a shortage of pilots too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so you went to visit colleges with your kids. Did you get recognized on campuses when you were around? Because, I mean, you're pretty big on TikTok and Instagram. So
I'm not sure I told you this story or not. I didn't get recognized so much in places like Santa Barbara or Santa Cruz or places like that. I did get in New York. And my daughter said that she went to NYU this summer for a month. And she went into her first class. And they asked everybody to say something interesting about their family. And she goes, well, my dad's a TikTok guy. And they said, oh, well, who's your dad? Oh. And she said, Dr. Carlton. She said there was a big gay gasp because it was a theater class.
Yeah.
And so all the guys in there were like, all the bottoms in there just were like, they let out a big gasp. And she says, Dad, all the bottoms at NYU follow you, by the way. And I'm like, well, I hope that gave you some street cred and didn't damage your reputation.
Oh,
she's
you
like,
want the gays on your team.
Yeah, exactly. The gays
like,
are
no.
going to help you, sweetie.
She's like, no, I think it worked out okay, Dad. And that was part of me was kind of like, okay, yeah, the gay guys are going to watch out for her and make sure everything is okay.
Oh, 100%.
Awesome.
She was safe. She was fine.
So what do you have coming up now?
Well, this is there's kind of a bit of a lull here, which is good to kind of recover from this past month of just craziness. I'm going to my next project really isn't until April. I'm doing another kink weekend in Austin, Texas. And other than that, it's just kind of wide open.
Okay.
So do you find that you're getting requests for more like the kink and leather ones and just like
there just seems to be more convention type stuff for that stuff.
Okay.
So that's what I've been pulled into. And I'm just, like I said, I started saying yes to these folks early on, so I just continue to say yes.
Did your husband go with you to Claw?
Yeah, he did. He did, yeah. And he too kind of felt the same way. We're like, we don't feel like we exactly fit in here. Like, we're here and we're doing stuff.
And we're queer.
And we like it in the rear.
And, okay, so you've never been to the Westin Bonaventure, but the elevators are also glass.
Right.
So you can see everything from outside the hotel as well. Because they go outside the hotel.
Oh.
And they're glass. And it's
maybe I have. I don't think I've been in there.
It looks like 3 barrels or something like that. Like, you know.
And I guess there was a television show in the early 80s that was filmed up there on the 35th floor. Jillian something was in it.
Gillian Anderson?
No.
Was it X-Files?
I forget what her name was, but some of the guys that we were talking with were saying that there was a big show filmed up there. And a lot of movies have been filmed in there.
All right. So, Dr. Carlton, what do you want for Christmas?
Oh, I already got it.
Teeth.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Honestly, for me, I have everything I could possibly ever want. So I have instructed people not to do anything this year because it's been such a crazy year.
And I feel like we're all grown ass people. Like, do you really need to get gifts for grown people?
world peace.
Yeah. I just want my kids to be happy to get into the college they want to go to. That would be great for me. Yeah.
And so, what is your favorite Christmas song?
I was thinking about that the other day. It used to be Baby It's Cold Outside, but then when you really listen to it, it's kind of rapey.
Yeah. It's only a little bit. Just a little bit.
We watched Love Actually, and Andy's like, the internet ruined this movie for me. But what is it now?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. What's yours? What do you like?
So I'm more of like the newer stuff. So like, but my favorite is, and this is really bad because I don't really like him anymore, but like CeeLo Green with the Muppets. All You Need Is Love.
You don't like CeeLo?
I'm not a huge fan of CeeLo Green.
What happened? What did he do to you?
Oh, well, not to me, but like to women.
Oh, was he? Oh, I didn't know this.
Oh yeah, like there were like rape allegations against him.
Oh.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the Muppets, and they integrate the Muppets theme into the song because it's like all you need is love. And I'm like in the car, like.
And then Oscar the Grouch is in your backseat.
But you wouldn't think that's a Christmas song.
It is. It talks about Christmas. So stop. What's yours?
The Christmas song by Nat King Cole.
Oh, okay. I would have thought Mariah.
No, the first, when that like string, whatever, I don't know if it's like violin or whatever, like when it's the first like bar of that song, I immediately am just like, it's like cozy. There's something about it where I'm just like this. I'm like, I feel cozy. I could be outside. I'm by a fireplace. It's just like nostalgia.
I feel the same way about Carole King. Merry Christmas,
Darling. Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah. There's just like, I don't know, like the first 4 seconds of that song, I'm just like, yes. And it's like, it reminds me of like when I was younger. So
my favorite is like this meme that it's like Mariah Carey's when she says, I don't want a lot for Christmas, and then she says, but all I want to do is like a totally sick bird.
I'm surprised you didn't say you like the Destiny's Child, the 12 Days of Christmas or whatever.
No. Sleigh Ride by TLC. But like if you listen to
it's SLAY.
But I do have a couple of like holiday, like I have a playlist called All Over Christmas, and then it's got all your regular Christmas songs, but it also has like trap Christmas songs, EDM, bounce. I have a little bit of everything.
Oh my god!
I want some big Frida Christmas music. You already know. Dr. Carlton. Before we wrap up, how can they find you on the socials again?
On Instagram and TikTok at Dr. Carlton, spelled out DoctorCarlton. My Twitter, if I keep it, is Dr._Carlton. My Hive is Dr. Carlton as well.
What's a Hive?
It's kind of like the new replacement for Twitter. It's kind of like a Twitter platform with that.
Should I be hiving?
Well, some people are going to Hive. Some people went to Mastodon. So
what you call me? Mastodon? Isn't that a dinosaur? No, that was a like a woolly mammoth or something.
Yeah, it's like Kink Weekend. Mastodon.
Hey.
Yes, boy.
That's my name on it.
Well, go check out Dr. Carlton on the socials. Everyone, have a great week. Thank you so much.
Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.